Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bears Den podcast. I'm joined by Chicago Clarence. I'm joined by G Walker from C&G Podcast. So,
What's
guys,
up, fellas?
if you're a Chicago Bears fan, please check out Walker on C&G Podcast. And if you're watching us, please follow us on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. Please show us some love, like us, follow us, subscribe to us. Do what you got to do. Same with CNG Podcast. Please show them some love. We're all Bears
Let's
fans here.
go.
Please show us all some love. Follow us. If you're watching us
Go.
right now, send us some comments. We love comments. And guys, if you live in the Charlotte area, please feel free to join us every Sunday for the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games at Max Speed Shop, Concord, North Carolina, on Concord Mills Boulevard. If you know where the mall is, we share the same parking lot as the mall. So, guys, let's get right into it. G Walker, I'll go with you. I'll go with you first. I know Chicago Clarence is probably steaming. Just give me your first reaction to what we saw on that field Saturday. Anything you want to
Man,
say?
what I saw from them from that game was something that I didn't anticipate us going out there losing. I didn't see it. The way Anthony Richardson has not been playing up to par as far as a quarterback throwing interceptions, he's not a good quarterback. They're not a team that I think that we would struggle with. We shouldn't even struggle with this team in no manner, but we struggled with them the whole game. So for us to come out there without a W was super frustrating. And for us to come out there like we didn't have a game plan and you letting your quarterback throw 52 times in a game was insanity. I have a lot of thoughts like Eberflus, like how is he going to be able to help us going forward if he's not an offensive coach, man? Like I love the fact that he's helped us, build the defense and build a culture, but he can't help us do anything on offense. Nothing. Nothing. And it showed you that game that the lack of accountability that he doesn't make sure that his coaches, his offensive coordinator knows. So I was just disappointed, man. Completely disappointed.
All right, Chicago Clarence, I'll kick it to you. Gut reaction to what you saw on that field Sunday.
Same old Bears.
Yep.
Is how I felt um, watching the game. We have seen this over and over again for years, and nothing has changed. Even with, when you change regimes, it seems like they just give the new regime the blueprint to come in there and look pathetic every single week. I mean, and the things that angers me the most, because I'm relatively calm now. I've had a couple days to sit back and really seethe on this thing, but the Indianapolis Colts was the worst rushing defense in the
Yes.
league.
Yes.
They were giving up 237 yards on average per game. How in God's name would you then instruct your rookie quarterback with a shaky offensive line to go in there and throw the ball 52 times? That's just beyond me. But that's the Chicago Bears way. When things seem simple, we do the opposite. And, don't take my word for it. Just look at revisionist history. We do this stuff all the time. You know, we didn't have a show when Ryan Poles was hired, but we talked amongst ourselves about the things that we wanted to see this team do. And what does he do? He lets Harbaugh leave and don't even talk to him.
It's crazy.
And
Yeah.
we get another shot at Harbaugh. What does he do? Harbaugh ends up down there in California, and it makes no sense to me. You got Matt LaFleur down there in Green Bay with a rookie, well, not even a rookie quarterback, his backup quarterback, and he has won every game since Jordan Love went out. And when Jordan Love was in the game, they still looked way better than we do, and we got more weapons.
Right.
Coaching matters. If you don't believe that coaching matters, go down to Kansas City and see what good coaching does. If you don't believe what coaching matters, I just spoke about the Green Bay Packers. Coaching matters. And the fact that you knew that Justin Fields was going to be entering a year where all the chips were down, you felt like you had finally given him weapons, and to utilize, and you were going to make your decision as to whether he was going to be your guy going forward. What do you go do? You go hire a defensive-minded head coach
Man,
who then goes and hires an first-time offensive coordinator, a guy who had never called plays in his career. In a year where you were set to make a decision about Justin Fields. So I ask you, did we do the right thing then? The answer is no, we did not. And so when you ask me what my gut reaction is, it's the same old story with this franchise. Not just the team, it's the franchise. We make dumb decisions all the time. And it's really starting to piss me off. And we're just 3 weeks into the season, and my blood pressure is at an all-time high because I'm sick and tired of watching the same old movie with this team. It's the same old thing. And you want me to spend my money to come and see you play, to come and watch you put a 190-pound guy to block a defensive end in the NFL when we on fourth down. I mean, it's mind-boggling, the decisions that you make. And Shane Waldron is supposed to be this guru at calling plays. You want to credit him to bringing back Geno Smith's career. How in God's name can you justify your personnel groupings when we on the 1 yard line? We can't get it in. We're 4 tries. We can't.
Lord.
I'm sorry, I went on my rant. I didn't mean to go on a rant, but this team drives me nuts.
So I want to talk, and actually you stole my line. The first thing I have written down is same old story, same old Bears. You know, those 4 plays on the defense before the half ended, we were down 7-3. First play, Khalil Herbert, Wildcat. I ask you why. I mean, why? Why run that play? Why do we got to go the gimmick right away on first down? Why do we not show some power, 13, jumbo, big, heavy, and try to pound that ball between the tackles? And why was Herbert in there? Why did we use Roschon Johnson, who was our best running back on Sunday? He is the only one who runs with violence, runs like he's angry.
Well, Khalil Herbert has shown us the ability to break tackles. So I can't totally co-sign on that. My problem is the Wildcat. Had you lined up on the center and handed him the ball off, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But once again, all 4 plays, what are we doing? We're running plays out of the shotgun. Once again.
That's my next thing. Why can we not get Empower I and try to pound that ball in the end zone?
Because
I don't
these
understand.
Coaches got to be the smartest person in the room,
and we're not. We're the dumbest,
and we're not. You're dealing with a rookie quarterback, a shady O-line, and you get in the red zone, and you go away from the guy who was pretty much giving you life and momentum that whole drive, and was Roschon Johnson.
Yes,
we can tell DeAndre Swift is not a between the tackles running back. He's not. He seems like he's more of a catching out the backfield, but the offensive line got to be good for him to be what he needs to be. It seems like Roschon can make something out of nothing, man. And he was cooking that whole drive. So to not reward him with the ball on the goal line, in the red zone with 4 tries, it was an ego thing to me, man. It made no sense. And that's the second game in 2 games in a row, 2 weeks in a row, that we've lost the game by 6 or 7 points. The first game was Roman Dunze missed the touchdown. He didn't catch it. If you go back, we win that game. Mm-hmm. Then the offensive coordinator loses us a game by not letting Roschon be the dog that was biting him, man. Let the pit bull bite the neck and bring the guy down. Your dog was biting, and you took him off. I mean, that was insanity, man. For a young team, we can't afford to have those type of mistakes. And also, Shane Waldron is not a rookie offensive coordinator. So you should know better, man. You should know better. The fact that happened, man, was disgusting. It makes no sense.
So on that, for the very first play, we were in 11 personnel on that play. 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. And we're trying to pound the ball up the middle. But we have 3 wide receivers in the game. The wide receivers are on the edge. They're not on the line helping block. I mean, that play made no sense. 2nd and goal. I have this all written down. Komet got beat. It says Khalil got 1 yard. 3rd and goal. We try Herbert to the edge. This is the play Clarence was talking about, where we have a 190-pound wide receiver trying to block a defensive end who's 100 pounds heavier. And as you saw, Carter got folded up.
Folded.
I could have put him in my suitcase and brought him back from Indianapolis. I mean, I could. And fourth down, the speed option to the left. And the Colts showed power to the left. They had that play dialed up. So why didn't we kill, and check to the next play? If we would have ran to the right, we would have walked in because they had all the strength to the left. Or why didn't we call a timeout? Because we still had 3 to go there. 3 timeouts to burn. Like, what is this coaching staff going to make it? Is this coaching staff going to be here next year, guys?
No.
I say no already. I'm already ready. I'm like Clarence said. I'm going to rent a truck. I'm going to drive to Chicago, and that will help them pack. They need to go.
I wouldn't get rid of Shane Waldron right now.
No, not
I wouldn't
yet.
get rid of Shane. People are overreacting. That was one bad play. Offensive coordinators do this all across the NFL. But what I did see from him, we was all begging for it. And people got to understand, when you have a young quarterback and you have a young offensive coordinator with that young quarterback, they have to grow together. They're symbiotic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if Caleb is going his first game 93 yards, then his second game 174 yards, then his third game 363 yards, who's helping them get there? The offensive coordinator is helping them get there. We did not see Cole Kmet as much as we saw Cole Kmet this past Sunday. He caught, I think, 9 balls. He caught every pass that was thrown to him this Sunday.
Yeah.
He caught them. So we have to be patient as a fan base, and we have to be patient with Caleb, and we have to be patient with Shane Waldron, because he's actually letting this kid grow. Caleb Williams is growing right before our eyes.
He is.
So people are overreacting, I think, to that one play, but the overall growth of what I'm seeing from Caleb Williams every week, despite the interceptions, I think his deep ball will get better as it goes. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But the fact that he can throw it in under 2 seconds, he can process fast, he can get it out of there, and he's doing all of this with a bad offensive line. Caleb Williams is looking like one of those players you're going to actually win because of. We just have to clean up a couple of things from the offensive play calling and the offensive line. But you have to give Shane Waldron credit for the first 3 weeks that we've seen the progress of Caleb Williams. So I'm not getting rid of Shane. But Eberflus, he can get the hell on. He can go. Yeah. He can go.
So do you think Shane Waldron will be here? If Eberflus gets fired, Shane Waldron's probably out the door. If Eberflus is not retained next year.
I think that was a Ryan Poles hire. I'm not sure about that. I don't think Eberflus had probably anything to do with that at all.
So Chicago Clarence, this is our offensive line on the spread option or option left or power option. What do you want to call it? We have 4 offensive line on the ground. I mean, that's a fact. That's not a picture that's made up. You can watch the replay. That's pathetic. What do you say to that, Chicago Clarence? This is all over social media. I mean, people are laughing at this team because we are soft. Why didn't we run power in that any play right there? Those 4 downs.
Let me just go back to and recap some stuff that Walker just said. I vehemently disagree with him. If it's anybody that I'm firing, it's 2 people right now. That's what's this guy, Chris Morgan?
Yes.
Chris Morgan. Yeah.
The offensive line coach who was here. He was here doing the Nagy regime. It makes no sense to me why he was retained.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Shane Waldron, being a veteran offensive coordinator, has not shown me that he's capable of running this football team's offense. And I'm gonna give you a couple examples why. Have you guys ever noticed him in critical situations? His play sheet is shaking. He's nervous.
I saw that.
That tells me you have no plan. When we can sit back and in hindsight during our pregame shows and our postgame shows and break down things that we need to have, but we've done it in our show, and Walker, we've done it on your show, and we have always highlighted our need to run the ball. But yet this guy still brings us out there, and we're trying to run the ball out of the one formation that we cannot do, and that's the shotgun. We have ran our offense 95% of the time out of the shotgun. Stevie Wonder can see we can't run the ball out of the shotgun. Why can't the guy who's in charge of the offense not see it? It's not working. And everything on the offensive side of the ball is under him. That means the offensive line coach as well. They're not doing their job, plain and simple. So you can't tell me that you deserve to keep your job when you are a manager, a supervisor, or whatever it is, and the people under you are not doing theirs. You are not holding them accountable. And that's the same reason why you want Eberflus gone, because he's the head coach.
Right.
Everybody falls under him. He is responsible for the wins and losses of this football team.
So let me ask you this, Clarence. Do you think that that Shane was going to do that with Sean McVay? Those 52 passes? You think that would have gone with Sean McVay?
No,
see, that's
it would
what
not.
I'm saying. As much as we want to blame Shane, and he does get criticism, he deserves that. But at the end of the day, it's coming down to Matt Eberflus.
But Sean McVay also calls the plays. He also calls. He's the relative offensive coordinator for his team. You know, and
yes.
I was getting to what you was getting ready to say, because yes, the head coach at some time has got to ring his guy in and say, hey, it's not working. We can't run the ball out of the shotgun. We need to get under center. We need to roll our rookie quarterback out and get him to the edge where he's comfortable. We've got to get him in space. We got to run bootleg, naked bootleg. You know, every time he was dropping back and he was doing the fake handoffs, it was working. People was open. A lot of those cold commit passes came into that. You know, so all I'm saying is
it did.
You've got 3 weeks. I don't care that Caleb Williams threw for 300-something yards. He threw the ball 52 times, for God's sake. You should have 300 yards passing when you throw the ball 52 daggone times. Stop it with that. You know, at the same time, somebody has got to get called to the carpet that we went against a team who was averaging 237 yards on defense. They didn't have their best defensive player in the game. DeForest Buckner did not play. We refused to take advantage of that. Somebody has to answer for that. We are everyday Joe Schmo people. If we can see it, why can't they? You know, I only have a few hours a week to dedicate to watching football and break this stuff down. Imagine what I could do if I had all day and you actually paid me to do what you're not doing. So this is what pisses me off.
Man.
Because we sit back and we come to this and we arrive at these conclusions and deductions, and the people who's responsible for making it happen can't see it. Now, you're either too stupid to realize it, or you're just stubborn. It's one of the two. And as a football team, we can't deal with neither one. You know what I'm saying? We have got to put people in position where they can be successful. And doggone it, I have my problems with Ryan Poles, but this team should not be operating at the level that it is on offense. Plain and simple. Somebody's got to do their job. And I don't know what it is right now because, like I said, I only got a few hours a week to dedicate to breaking this stuff down. But if you want me to fly to Chicago and move there and help you do your job, you know, hey, call my agent. We can make it happen. Because I guarantee you, we ain't running the ball 52 times against that run defense. It ain't happening. You might have seen me run it 52 times, but we damn sure ain't passing it 52 times. It's ridiculous. And you're going to sit there and ask us to continue to go in and pay money to get to games. And he just flew to Indianapolis, for God's sake, to watch you play. And that's what you put on the field. That's what you give us, all the hype during the offseason about how things were going to be different on offense. This is what you give us out of 3 weeks. We played 3 games. We ain't hit 1,000 yards offense yet. Every other team in the NFL has. Even the Carolina Panthers has got more yards on offense than we do. How? They got the same record we got. How?
Yeah. It's like everything's back to normal. We're in last place again. So with that being said, Matt Eberflus, I say he's got to go. I say he's not it. I say he's clearly the worst coach in this division by far. It's not even close. Matt LaFleur is a genius. Kevin O'Connell is really good. And
Then you got Ben Johnson over there, the offensive coordinator, and with Dan
yes,
Campbell
Dan
over there.
Campbell. I mean, they were in the NFC Championship last year. I mean,
Look
Matt
what
Eberflus.
Minnesota's doing. Kirk
I
Cousins leaves
saw.
town. Look what
Yeah.
Look what the Minnesota
Yeah.
Vikings is doing. And this is what I'm saying. This is reason why we as Chicago Bear fans should be upset, because this is what you give us. You know, we look at our brethren in our own division, and everybody is either holding up to expectations or exceeding expectations, except for us.
I mean, Minnesota is doing this with a second string quarterback. This guy was not going to be the starter. They were going to go with McCarthy.
Look what they just did to the team that beat us.
Look what Green Bay is doing with Malik Willis.
Don't even get me like I said. Don't even get me started on them. Matt LaFleur, he coaches circles around. He's going against what, 2 head coaches so far now that we've had, and he's taken us all to task.
So
and he makes it look easy.
So what
he makes it look easy?
Matt Eberflus, he was clearly not prepared for us to score that touchdown. So he holds up 1, then he goes to 2, 1, 2. It had to waste a timeout on a freaking extra point. And what does that do? That tells Indianapolis we're going to go for 2. So that 2-point play had no chance of succeeding. And the week before that, he wasted 2 timeouts on challenges that we could clearly see on TV were not going to be won. I mean, this guy cannot manage a game. He can't manage timeouts. And we needed that timeout to end the game. But we burned it, deciding on 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever was going through his head. How can you not be prepared as a head coach to know what your next play is? Walker, how can he not be prepared there?
I think it's a personality thing. He might be, a very impulsive person. He might have a little bit of schizo in him. He might have a little bit of overreacting. He has all of that.
Yeah.
So you put his personality, he's not cool, calm, collected as he should be. And sometimes the team plays that way. The team plays, it's based off the personality of the head coach. And you're starting to see that a little bit more and more because he doesn't really necessarily have an identity as a head coach to how he goes about his in-game situations. So people in the fan base are asking, what is our identity as a football team? It starts with the head coach.
Yeah.
So and then you put that together. Then you put the fact that he's the oddball in the division as far as not being a good offensive coordinator or offensive head coach. He's the oddball. It doesn't work going forward with this young Chicago Bears team. He is not the coach that is going to be the head coach to develop Caleb Williams. It's clear as day. It don't even matter the fact that he had 2 losing seasons and this might be his 3rd losing season. That doesn't matter because it's the quarterback situation that needs an offensive head coach. We have to pivot from him. It does not matter anymore. He's not the guy that have the mental capacity, the patience, the mental fatigue, the mental stamina to deal with situations as far as a whole NFL game. And you're talking about a quarterback that is pretty much looks like he's going to be a franchise quarterback. Yeah. So you have to match that type of mentality to your young quarterback. So if the young quarterback is already looking smarter than you, he's already in the game asking, what are we running? And the offensive coordinator is just trying his best to get what's going. And you have that head coach is like, calm down. Let's not do this. Let's run. Let's power. Whatever it go. It's not going to work. It can't work because he hasn't showed the ability to be calm under pressure. For number one, that's the main thing a coach should be, a calm under pressure. Let's not even get into the offensive side of the ball, which he's incapable of helping with. So I don't care if we go 7-9, 8-9, 10. He needs to go. Thank you for the defense. Thank you for the special teams.
Yeah.
Thank you for the culture. But going forward, hell no. It doesn't even matter. He needs not for the offense, not for Caleb. It don't matter, man. He got to ride. And Chris Morgan.
Yeah.
He got to go too. It's all the problem.
Yeah. So Chicago Clarence, you can't answer defense. So what is the identity of this team? You can't answer defense. I mean, do we even know if it's pass, run? I mean, what is the identity? And you can't answer defense. That's
we don't have an identity.
I agree 100%. I just want to see if you are going to say either pass or running. I agree.
We don't have an identity, and I'll even give you one better. When we play, we look like we don't know what we're doing.
That's our identity right there. That's it. That's it right there.
We used to be a team that would hit you in the mouth.
Not anymore. That's our identity right there.
We are a bunch of pansy people who we get hurt at the you know, I've never seen a team with so many, injuries from strains and pains, no broken bones, no torn ACLs or anything. I mean, just a bunch of ailing joints, and people are missing games.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm talking about. You play in Chicago, you're supposed to be built for this.
Right.
And we got guys out because their calf hurts, or because they foot hurts, or because they got an ache and whatever. And like I said, nobody's having surgery, but they're just missing games. Every time you turn around, some guy is being helped off the field.
Yeah.
When you see our offensive line get manhandled the way they have all 3 games so far, I mean manhandled.
Yes, they have.
I mean manhandled.
Yeah. I agree.
The Indianapolis defensive line had their way with our guys, and that's just a little sample of what happened all game.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's got to be a part of your culture. You have got to have the culture that you're going to hit people in the mouth when the whistle starts. That has
They
got
do
to
it on
be
defense.
embedded in your mind. Yeah, they're doing it on defense, but they're not doing it on offense. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
right.
You just can't go out there and just sign people because they're available. You got to sign people that fits this team. That's one of the reasons why you told us you didn't get Jalen Carter,
Right.
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
wasn't going to fit the team. That's
Yeah.
what you told
Right.
us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Right.
mind having Jalen Carter right now on that D line. Just saying.
Yeah.
Because but hey, if you're gonna sell it to me, then you got to make it make sense. And right now, nothing that you have done makes sense to us. Nothing that we saw on Hard Knocks makes sense to us. Because you know why? Matt Eberflus had say so. He was in the room with Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham when they were making decisions on these rosters. Why did
Mm-hmm.
you give us this offensive line that we have right now?
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to tell me that you put it all in Shane Waldron's hands and you let him do whatever that was tailored to his offense, shame on you. You know why? Because your job is on the line. My manager, when he rides with me, he don't tell me where we're going. He don't tell me what customers that we got to go see. You know why? Because it's supposed to be my show. I am being held accountable for my successes and my failures. So far be it from you to tell me how I'm supposed to run my business. You can tell me what your expectations are, and at the end of the week and at the end of months and at the end of quarters, I then have to answer to my expectations that he set forth for me. And that's how Matt Eberflus has to be. I know your expectation is for not us to have played 3 games and we don't have 1,000 yards of offense to show for it. How you that's hard to do if you're trying.
Mm-hmm.
But you was given a a franchise wide receiver. You was given another Pro Bowl wide receiver, and you was given a first round draft pick at wide receiver.
Right.
You re-signed Cole Kmet 2 years ago. We then turned around and gave you Gerald Everett. We re-signed Mercedes Lewis, and this is what you give me on offense?
Right.
Not even 1,000 yards.
I know. I
I mean,
agree.
before the last game, we only had 400. So
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams throws for what he throws. We're still sitting somewhere around 700, 800 yards after 3 games. That's pathetic. There's only 2 teams in the NFL that averages less run yards than we do. Only 2 out of 32 teams. And that's supposed to be our bread and butter. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that upsets me when we sit there on Sunday mornings and Sunday afternoons and
Yeah.
watch this team play. And
Mm-hmm.
and on a personal note, Andy, you want me to spend my hard-earned money to fly with you to Indianapolis and
Yeah.
watch this shit?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
I did.
You want me to pay my hard-earned money to buy
Yeah.
a ticket? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? To take time off work
Yes.
to go watch this?
Yes, I do. Edmund even said it would have been a great day if you would have been with on Sunday. And then he did text me during the game. He said, I know Clarence is pissed. He even texted me. So G Walker, DeAndre Swift, we signed him 3 years, $24 million. This cat has given us 37 carries, 68 yards at 1.8 yards a clip. Is he the problem, or is our offensive line the problem, or is it a little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both, man. I can't, and I want to give it more blame to the offensive line, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's the offensive line, man. It's been here. It's been this way for the longest time. Like this
it
hasn't.
has.
Our offensive line. This problems didn't start this year. These problems started with Justin Fields.
It
These problems
started,
started
yeah,
with
Matt Nagy
Mr.
regime
Trubisky.
and
Yeah, it
Matt
started with
Nagy.
Mr. Trubisky. Yeah,
Yeah,
Matt Nagy. So this is a problem that's been lingering on for the past. Well, I can remember past 5-6 years.
it has
It's
been.
going on 6 years. You probably had Trubisky for what 3 years, 4 years. Then you had
We had Trubisky
Justin
for
for 3
4.
years. So it's almost 7 years
Yeah,
or some shit like that with this offensive line. And then you bringing in talented players, but nobody can really get off and be the talented player that you've seen from different teams. So the Eagles, they got a good offensive line, right?
yes,
Would you say that?
yes,
Okay, so those players are able to be who they're supposed to be
yeah.
in those positions in time. So you're seeing
Hmm.
players like DeAndre Swift, who had a career year last year, and his offensive line can't open up holes for him. And
Yes,
that's something that Ryan Poles to me has neglected since he's been here. I can't understand for the life of me. You've been a former offensive lineman, and you don't pick a center this draft, a right guard this draft. You know Tevin Jenkins is getting hurt every year, a left guard. So when you do pick your quarterback, when you do pick your running back, and these Pro Bowl wide
hmm,
receivers, I've
yes,
built my offensive line the last 4 years. So that lets me know about his personality. He's giving Eberflus way too much leeway in draft decisions. He has to, man, because it doesn't make sense. Now, if you want to say, okay, the first draft was probably a lot of defense, this draft is a little bit of mix of defense and offense or whatever, or free agency with the offensive guys we got. So the next draft, it has to be offensive line tackle heavy. It has to be if you're going by phases of the team. So Ryan Poles has, to me personally, one more draft free agency trade deadline to fix this offensive line before he's really on my shit list. Excuse me, I'm sorry for cussing. If
it's
he's on
okay.
my hot seat, because he has one more draft. We have our own first round pick, we have our second round pick, then we have Carolina's second round pick, and then we have, if Justin Fields continues to play star, we get that he plays 50% of the first of QB1 snaps, we get that fourth
Hmm.
round pick. Next draft trade deadline is when Ryan Poles is going to see a side of me that he's never seen before. Because I've never seen a man and an assistant GM be so smart with money, draft
Yes,
picks, all
yes,
this stuff. And then it comes down to it, you guys can't build an offensive line. This doesn't make sense.
no.
It doesn't make any sense.
And I would argue that DeAndre Swift was successful behind the offensive line. I would argue coaching has a lot to do with it. Semo has to go. Chris Morgan has to go.
Yeah, he got to go.
So Chicago Clarence, Caleb Williams. Are you happy with him so far? You think he can? I mean, given our offensive line, like he was not great. He was very good against the Colts. He did throw the 2 interceptions. And he did fumble, and he's a rookie. He's going to do it. That 1 interception on the sideline. He was late. He was late. That was on him. He was
That was
late.
the worst one.
Yeah, he was late. The other one was
And that
tipped.
fumble wasn't on him.
Yeah, and the other one was tipped. Once it gets tipped, it's not on the quarterback. I don't think so, but the one to sidelines, he was late. I even saw that from the end zone. I knew he was late. So Chicago Clarence, Caleb Williams, is he the guy? I believe he is. I think if we had better coaching and a better offensive line, better scheme, he would really be taken off because he's gotten incrementally better every week.
Crazy.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Caleb Williams? Because people are already saying we drafted the wrong quarterback. We should have drafted
It's
Daniels, or we should have gone with Fields.
it's really unfair for you to even ask me this question, knowing that you already know how I feel. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't
Yes.
want Caleb Williams. I
I
told y'all
know.
that. I didn't want Caleb Williams. You know, and for things to be unfolding the way they are with this season going on so far, we could have taken that pick and we could have flipped it. We could have kept Justin Fields here, gave him better coaching, gave him the same weapons that we've given Caleb Williams, and we could have took those picks that we flipped the number 1 pick for, and we could have really
Yeah.
addressed this offensive line.
Yeah.
Because Justin Fields has not been all of that spectacular in Pittsburgh, but guess what? He's 3-0, and
Yeah.
a lot of the reasons why they're 3-0, he has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. And he's got a
Because
Hall of Fame coach, most likely.
well,
Tom. Yeah.
listen, he could have had a Hall of Fame coach here had we
Yeah.
done
He
the
could
right
have.
thing. Because
Yeah.
if Andy, you've been watching football with me for years.
Yes.
Everything that I'm about to say, I've been saying for years. We should have Harbaugh here because he's had a proven track record of winning in the NFL.
Anyway, the
We
offensive
should
line.
have taken that number one pick and we should have flipped it for other picks and addressed that offensive line. We could have then signed Justin Fields to a long-term contract extension. We didn't have to give him $50-60 million a year like the stupid ass Cowboys have been doing with Dak Prescott and what other people has given Trevor Lawrence and all those other people. We could have given him a team-friendly, cap-friendly deal, and we could have kept him here.
Yes.
Better coaching, better weapons, better team. We will have better results than
Alan
1 and
Kennedy.
2.
Alan Kennedy says, I'm over to Fields' experience. I am too. He's not with us.
Yeah.
I wish him the best. I liked him. I thought he had talent.
Listen, I don't care who's
Yeah.
over the field experience.
Yeah.
You ask me a question, and I just simply tell you how I felt. And it turns out that I'm right because I've been saying this for years. I told y'all this. It don't even matter what we think about Kellen Williams right now. You know why? Because he's not getting what he needs. And when
No.
you don't have proper coaching in NFL, in NBA, Major League Baseball, no matter how good that guy is, you're not going to win. If we had brought Patrick Mahomes here with Matt Nagy, he would not be the Patrick Mahomes we know right now. You know why? Because coaching matters. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
What you want to ask me? What do I see out of Caleb? Nothing excites me. You know why? Because we're 1 and 2. I don't give a damn. I want to win. Plain and simple. I want to win. I am sick and tired of leaving the bar feeling the way I have been feeling the last 3 weeks. I wasn't even happy the game we won. And you know that.
No.
Because it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And I turned out to be right. I am usually right when I call shit. Because I know what I'm looking at. And I told you, it all starts up front. If you can't block, you ain't winning. Your quarterback is not throwing. He ain't going to survive if you cannot protect him. And if you don't give him a running game and you put everything on his shoulders and he's a rookie, you get what we're getting right now. Plain and simple. Stroud didn't have these issues in Houston last year. That's the reason why he's the flavor of the month down there in Houston. They gave him a line that protected him. They gave him weapons. And what did they turn out and do again? They gave him more weapons. So, my frustrations runs deep because I've been saying the same thing with this team for 20 years. We had a bad old line when we had Jay Cutler behind us. And Cutler was not a bad quarterback. But we didn't protect him neither. We gave up all that capital to get Cutler in Chicago. You know what we turn out and do? We go get Orlando Pace off the couch, who was 40 years old, to be his left tackle. That's the kind of stuff the Chicago Bears do. And we wonder why we don't win. No other team does stupid stuff like that. Only we do. And then we turn around and we subject the fans to losing season after losing season after losing season, and we go up on ticket prices. And we wonder why people like me are pissed off. That's why.
I agree with you, Clarence. I mean, it's just it's like the washing machine. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I mean, we have pieces, but our offensive line is horrible. I don't think this coaching staff is going to cut it. So with that being said, G. Walker, let's at least talk about the defense. Do you want to say anything about the defense that you saw on Sunday?
I've been saying for the longest time, man. I'm the type of person, I like to break things down, compartmentalize things. Once I see something set and it's good to go, and they're doing the same thing they're doing every week, I really don't have nothing to say. I'm not surprised by what JJ is doing. I'm not surprised by what Montez Sweat is doing. I'm not surprised by what Billings is doing. Javon Dexter starting to get his feet up under him. He's starting to play better. Jaquan Brisker can be off every once in a while, but the defense is set. The defense is going to be the defense, and that's all that matters to me. So I don't have nothing bad to say about the defense necessarily. They haven't gave up over 20 some points in 3 weeks. So the defense is doing what Eberflus is really good at, is building the defense, man. Like, I have really no complaints. You can't complain about a defense who's only giving up 19 points when your offense can't get past 13 points a game, and you tire out your defense. And then they end up giving up more touchdowns at the end of the game. This shit happens every year. We get a good defense. We don't give them enough time to rest. We don't score. And by the time the fourth quarter comes, we can't get off the field no more because the defense is tired. So the defense is the defense, man. I really don't have no complaints about the defense. They're going to be good Sunday again. It's going to be the same thing. We're going to get an interception. Evans is going to make good tackles, and TJ Evans is going to be great, and Billings is going to get in the all that stuff is going to happen, man.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm concerned about is the offense.
Yes.
The offense has to catch up. So it's the defense is fine to me, just to answer your question, man. I don't want to go all over, but the defense is fine to me personally.
The defense,
I'm good with the defense.
To me, our defense was excellent. I mean, our offense put us in short fields because we did turn the ball over. Like the Caleb Williams fumble, that was almost on the Colts goal line. I mean, you can't expect them to keep holding up. Chicago Clarence, anything you want to say about our defense?
I feel bad for I feel bad for our defense.
Yes, I do too.
Plain and simple. Because, it's like Walker said, they have put us in position to win every game we've played so far. Not the offense. It's been the defense. We've turned the ball over on their side of the field. They have either held them to a field goal or they got the ball back. And we can't continue to ask them to go out there and make up for for their shortcomings and keep us in games, and we can't keep drives going or put points on the board. The defense have been the only shiny thing on this team. And really and truly, I think they're performing at a higher level than they did last year or even the year before that. They're playing their hearts out. They're playing their hearts out. And to sit there and continue to ask them to go out there and keep us in games without the offense giving them any help, shame on them. But I feel bad for the defense. If I'm a defensive player, trust and believe, I ain't towing the company line. I'm in somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your job. Plain and simple. You got to do your job. We got the interception. Who got the interception? Was it Jalen Johnson got the interception?
Jalen Johnson got one.
And Williams goes right back out there and gives him the ball right back.
And Tremaine Edwards got that one in the end zone that saved our ass.
Yeah, saved us.
And then Jalen Johnson got one. And then we turned it right back over.
Turned it right back over. That's what I'm talking about. So to answer your question, I love what the defense have given us.
It seems like ever since I can remember, the Chicago Bears have been about an outstanding defense. The 85-86 Bears, the Super Bowl year we lost to Indianapolis, the double doink year, and the Achilles heel has been the Quarterback. Jim McMahon maybe could have done something if he wouldn't have gotten hurt all the time. Maybe. But it's just the same cycle on offense. Rinse, repeat. Got to get a quarterback. It's like we just cannot get out of our own way.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, I mean, you just said it though, but I'm just saying, Andy, there are things that go with that. You know what I'm saying? You have got to have competent coaches. When you get somebody back there, the competency level of a head coach or a signal calling has got to be at an all-time high. When you look at Joe Montana, Steve Young, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, you know what all of them had in common? They had competent coaching. It wasn't just on them. Yeah. Everybody thinks that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest that ever lived. You know why? Because Andy Reid.
Yeah,
Andy Reid was doing it. But no, it's not just about that though, because there's something to be said about a guy who's got the talent to do it, but also people who's calling the right plays when you got 2 minutes, one timeout, and you want me to drive you 60, 70 yards to score. Everybody has done that, but you can't name me one quarterback that has done it with terrible play calling. You can't do it because it don't work. If you don't have competent play calling, it ain't going to work. And that's the reason why you see Shane Waldron doing this when he's trying to call plays.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. That was nuts. Like the fact that, I don't know, man. And see, and you hitting it right on the head as far as nerves, man. That's an indicator to me. That's an indicator. Like we get on Foos about not being, confident and calm, and then we look and they catch you shaking on your play sheet, bro.
Yeah.
That's a strike for me too.
Two
That's a
weeks straight.
strike. I can't lie. I like Shane, and I like what he's doing with Caleb. I see what he's doing with him. We don't have the offensive line, but I see what he's doing with him. But at the same time, bro, you shaking with your play sheet is crazy. I don't think I ever saw some shit like that. That's
Yeah.
a strike, man. That's a strike.
So, guys, G Walker, again, thank you for joining us from C&J Podcast. So, guys, if you're watching, check out C&J Podcast. Me and Clarence, we're on his show every once in a while, and he's on our show every once in a while. We collaborate together, so please check him out on C&J Podcast. With that, G
Shout out
Walker,
to CJ.
yes. So, with that, G
My
Walker,
partner.
what's your last word on the Chicago Bears? Give me anything you want.
Oh man, my last word is, man, I had a lot of belief, and I still got some belief in Ryan Poles. I can see what he's done as far as the skill position groups within the time he's been here. I've seen what he's done with the money, clearing the decks, getting the draft capital back from what Ryan Pace did. And I hate to say it, but until this draft and this trade deadline, I'm gonna be cool. But then you're gonna see me turn to Chicago Clarence in a minute, because how could you be so good at everything else, but the one thing that you was an ex-player at, you so neglectfully didn't build an offensive line, bro? This is gonna be, and I'm knocking on wood. I'm in my office. If we get if Caleb Williams is a generational quarterback, bro, if he's generational, and he seems like he might be, he's the only rookie in the top 5 in passing yards right now. He had 29 out of 43 completions. And he had 15 first downs. He's stacking games. He's stacking
Yes,
numbers.
he is.
He's processing. The problem is not him. The
No.
problem is going to be Ryan Poles, bro. So if Ryan Poles wastes a generational talent as Caleb Williams, this will be the worst thing I think I've ever seen or experienced in my Bears fandom, bro. I can't even lie, because the kid is growing every week despite everything not being ideal around him. And that's something that you want from any player. How do you rise in adversity? What is your character when adversity rises? Caleb comes out of them press conferences, head up. I'm good. How are y'all doing? I'm getting up. We're going to get better. We're going to get better. If there's anybody on this team that's going to be a leader, and they're showing it every week, personality, talking football, and growing with this game, it's Caleb Williams. But if Ryan Poles wastes this kid and don't build that offensive line, Ryan Poles is not going to be able to get out of Chicago fast enough, man. And that's my final thought, bro.
Well, he's in the right place to race quarterbacks. We've been doing it for 100 years. He's on the right team. So, Chicago Clarence, what are your final thoughts about our Chicago Bears?
We are proving all the naysayers correct so far.
Yes, we are.
All the people that came out before the draft and was saying the stuff that they were saying on ESPN, on Fox News about Chicago being the place that wasted quarterbacks, this is a place where quarterbacks go to die, are being proved correct right now. And it's because of the stupid stuff that we continue to do. Plain and simple. This is not a rebuilding year. This was a year that we're supposed to be winning. Plain and simple. We got the schedule that was going to help us out. But if we can't beat teams like Indianapolis, then there ain't no hope. Because it really gets any better than that. It was all lined up for you to get a win. Indianapolis was begging you to win that game.
Yes, we were.
I don't want to hear about all of this stuff about incremental steps, about getting better. I want to see results. I want to see wins. I don't give a damn about nothing else. Pretty stat lines don't mean a damn thing to me if you look on the column and we got an L beside it. Plain and simple. We got to get results. We got to win. Plain and simple. And if we don't win, all hell breaks loose. All heads roll. And it starts with the head coach because he owns this. But at some point, Ryan Poles has got to be held accountable as well. There's no way in heaven. Let's think about it. You go get a car. You wash it, shine it up, put shiny rims on it, and you don't put no gas in it. What's the use of the damn car? You know what I'm saying? You're going to give me all these shiny new toys on offense, and we ain't got 1,000 yards in total offense in 3 games? How? How? I mean, I ask you, do everybody out there that's listening to this podcast know how truly hard that is to do? In today's NFL, when all the rules are geared to offensive scoring points, how in God's name can you have a team go out there on Sunday and play 3 games and we don't have 1,000 yards of total offense yet? How? That is so hard to do. Not when it comes to Chicago Bears.
You just have to watch us. Just turn the game on Sunday and watch us.
So when you ask me questions about, giving you my final thoughts on that, those are my thoughts. We got to get better at every category. And it starts from the front office on down to the players. Playing everybody who goes to their bank and collects a paycheck once a month or twice a month, however often they get paid, got to start earning their money because they're not doing it right now. And it's pissing me off.
Yes, it's pissing me off too. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this rinse repeat cycle that we're on. We just can't seem to get everything right. It's like I thought we were going to be close, and now the offense looks like complete garbage. It looks like garbage, and it's mostly the O-line and Shane Waldron and the play calling and the scheme, but that's a lot. What I just said is a lot. If all that stuff doesn't fit together, it's just a train wreck, and that's what it looks like on offense.
It's just, and then it's gonna be, and you're gonna. I'm gonna say this last thing, and it's gonna be a transitional period with a rookie quarterback. And the crazy part about it, he's looking better than damn near everybody on offense. That's how you know he's special. He's making mistakes, but he looks better than damn near everybody on offense, man. On our team, it's crazy. So Caleb is gonna be fine, man.
I believe in Caleb. I actually think he's gonna be fine. I don't know if we don't ruin him first.
Get this man an offensive line, bro.
Yes.
Get him an offensive line, man. Fire Chris Morgan, bro. Fire Eberflus, man, because neither one of them in their 2 years. How the hell did he even keep him? You got a new running backs coach. You got a new quarterback coach. Everybody's new. But Chris Morgan ass is still here. Like, what are we doing? That's how you know Matt Eberflus is a problem. He's a problem. That must be his buddy or something because he's still here.
Did Matt Eberflus not watch?
Coordinator. Where's his own guys at? Come on, man, pay attention.
I would like to ask Matt Eberflus, did you watch the Chicago Bears during the Matt Nagy days and watch that O-line? What made you think keeping Chris Morgan was a good idea? Like, I would like to know that answer.
Coach.
An offensive coach. No, I agree with you. I just like what gave you the idea that Chris Morgan is an excellent offensive line coach. Like, did you not watch the same games we watch? Believe me, I've heard Chicago Clarence yelling at the same games I'm watching. What made you keep this guy? With that being said, guys, until next time, hopefully we get a win against the Rams. With that being said, bear down, guys. Until next time.
Bear down.
And thanks for watching, everyone.
Peace. Oh, my bad, bro.